Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, Never Too Old. So I've done a wee bit of work since the last video. I've painted the ceiling, I've got both doors open, it's still very dark in here. Bring you over here. I think it looks really nice. Wasn't quite sure, we did and ah about it because the van has taken on a Nordic personality all of its own, which, you know, we didn't plan on but we're quite happy with. So yeah, if I come back here a little bit, I think it looks really well. So added to that, I put a ceiling in here. This had been taken out because the shower cubicle was here originally. Now I'm not 100% happy with that there. I might have to put a little bit more filler in it and blend it a little bit. I think it's a bit hard. Big shout out to Brian from Portugal on a Shoestring, who solved my door problem. So now look at this, my door lands where it's supposed to. So he said to me the screws had fouled the hinges, and so what I needed to do was put a screwdriver, flat-headed screwdriver, in the gap and push the hinges forward, which I did. So thank you, Brian, you're an absolute bloody star. Go and check out his channel. They're doing some great stuff over there in Portugal, and when we get on the road, we have promised we're going to go visit them, so I'm really excited and looking forward to that. For today, we are going to be concentrating on this wall that I don't like at all, and it needs to come off, so I'm taking that off. Then I'm going to have a look at this bottom part, which the battens need putting on, and I need to look at these electric wires. They're far too long and they need stripping as well. Someone had put a DC to DC charger through the van and it's melted some of the wires. So I need to go through the wires, chop that lot off, and then we'll see where we go from there. So first job is getting this little jobby off. It's a USB charger, which will be handy when I put it back in. But obviously I can't get the boards off without getting this off, and it's going to be attached to a wire. When we were first looking for a camper van, I said to Trevor that it would be easier to get a camper van, just a van. And I was right. It would have been easier to just get a what do you call it, a blank canvas to start off with, because while I have been able to utilise quite a bit of the stuff in this van, it is taking so much more time stripping stuff out. And of course then there's the wires, because I have no idea, because the person who had the van before us didn't think to label the wires, which, you know, would have been a smart idea. So when I get the electrics done, I'm gonna have to do a whole test of what wire is connected one end of the van to the wires that are connected down here near the battery terminal. Okay, so I just want to be careful taking this out. Okay, and I need a far smaller screwdriver for that. Alright, that's the fascia part off. They have literally just screwed it in with these screws. Right, sorry, the van's wobbling with my efforts, so if you're feeling a bit seasick, I need to get a new set of drill bits. These are just about done because I've worked them to death, God love them. Now I don't know, I'm no electrician, but I'm not sure that that's the way you put these things in. Do 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 do. So this should now just pull out, right? With a little bit of persuasion. Ta-da! Okay. I forgot to press record, but they're all off. So that's that done, and I de-nailed the wall. Those nails are hard to find on that silver stuff, but I got them all anyway. Well, I was going to do the wiring until, upon closer inspection, I noticed a rust bit at the bottom here, so I dug out this stuff because, you know, you might as well be thorough if you're going to do this. And a couple of stabs with a screwdriver, and now got a hole. That rust is all the way in there. I dug out all the insulation that way. It's like expanding foam. That's what they put in it. They put expanding foam in, perhaps to ignore the issue or to hope that the expanding foam would stop rust. I don't know. So I'm not going to bore you with this. You've seen me do rust before on other videos. I also need to close the van up, move it forward and move it back because I'm parked right up against the hedges, and I need to take that outside cover off to see what the damage is there. I'm now on a hole hunting expedition. Don't be rude. And this is what I found. So, no holes on that panel just yet. Have found a hole. Well, I don't know if it's a hole until I kind of sand it back and see. Bit of rough here and a bit of rot, and have a funny feeling it's not going to be great. But maybe not a hole. Find out in a minute when I stab it. Middle panel is fine. Pulled that off, checked it. And then front panel again. Possible hole here. Could just be bubbling, we'll see. And another one up here. That definitely feels like it's a hole. Another one down here. So, I suppose I should have checked this already, shouldn't I? In fairness, I should have had this done before now, but it's getting done now, so. Okay, I thought before I started work I'd just bring you back and show you what I've discovered. So, that whole seam is done, and then I have two I know it looks like I actually sawed through there. I didn't, I assure you, the metal just gave way. So, that's where we are on that one. This second section isn't so bad. Yes, bit of rust. Not too bad at all. And then the front door. Yeah. Front door's not so good. So we've got a big rust patch here. A nice wee hole here, a rather large hole there, and those two holes are just meant to be there but rusted and need cleaning up. So, while my day was meant to be spent doing the inside, I'm now doing the outside. What's that saying? Best laid plans of mice and men. Okay, so that's her all cleaned up from the inside. I fiberglassed the holes, a bit messy in that corner, but it's very hard to get into straighten up, but I might put something in there. Q-rusted all the rust, and then hammerited on top. So this is the last layer, so the filler on top of the fiberglass. Look at the dust. Hello. I put the cover on before I remembered that I was supposed to get a picture, and they're awkward, so I'm not taking them off again. So I'll show you this back bit. So that's it with the holes done. Same job, same thing. Repetition for emphasis and all that palaver. So just need to rub that down, and then that's another job done. My van is no longer a colander. Okay, so here is my random assortment of wires. This is the one to go for the outside electric hookup. That one, there's a little tiny bit of bend back there, but this one got it bad, so I don't know whether I'm gonna have to cut this conduit off. I've already kind of pulled it apart to see. This end of the wire looks good. This does not look good. There's a couple of the others that look singed, but I don't know whether the wire is actually damaged. And I'm also aware that this wire, I might have to connect it together. So I have some shrink wrap, sorted sizes, heat shrink, and then my heat gun, and then I have some wire strippers and wire cutters. So I don't know, I'm not an electrician, right, which should terrify most of you, but you know, this is basic stuff that you probably got taught in school. Well, if any of you are my age, you got taught in school. I don't think they teach practical stuff like this anymore. It's all crap. But anyway, moving on. If I strip the outer casing off, completely off this section, I wonder if I can't cut the wire here, rewire it up, and then shrink wrap it. Yeah, you know what? I might need to do a bit more research on that. Alright, so I'm going to cut this conduit off without cutting the wire, if possible. I have my other Stanley knife, I don't know where it, oh there you go. I have my other Stanley knife, I don't know where it is though. See, it does look bad, but I'm wondering, see, that to me is more the conduit that is bent to the, and I don't think it's bent any farther up because the wires actually came across here, the boards. Whoever was using this van electrically had, I think, a DC to DC charger running from the front of the van to the back of the van, but something shorted in the van, and we have since discovered that the electrical loom in the van has wires seared together, so that's another job for an auto electrician that we're getting sorted shortly. I don't know whether the loom shorted or whatever they did shorted the loom, haven't a clue. All I can do is try and get rid of this stuff, and without, one, taking my fingers off, and two, cutting it into the wire and causing myself any more problems. Did I tell you I was accident prone? I fell off a stool yesterday doing that. Doing that fiberglass and landed on my bum. Thank God there's enough padding, hey? Right, so that's that. So our main issue on this wire is this singed bit here, which I don't think has gone actually through the insulation. I can see that it's pretty contained. This bit here is more worrying because you can see the sort of yellow of the earth, and I'm not pleased and happy with that at all. And I'm back. So I am a member of a private group on Facebook, a whole load of van lifers, really great. If you've not heard of them, you should check them out. I'll put them in the link. So I put my my dilemma to them, and the van life community did not fail me. Lots of different answers, quite a few of them saying replace the whole wire because they assumed that the short was in this wire, which it isn't. A couple of electricians come through and said, you know, if you're going to do a join, blah 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 blah. The best advice I got from a guy who's been a certified electrician for 35 years was just cut away the insulated part, and if there are any copper wires showing, just to tape it up, which thank God was the easiest solution. Because I wasn't looking forward to kind of cutting the wire and making a join. And I'm doing this now, right? But you see the length of this wire? I might end up, because I'm putting the board here, even cutting what I'm about to do off, to be honest. Do you know? Because I don't know why these wires are so long. Why are they so long? Like, where was he putting the battery? Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get cracking on with that. I'm going to do very carefully, not cutting my finger off whilst I'm at it, and at the same time trying not to actually cut into the wires underneath, which is tricky. Trickier without my glasses on. Hang on. Back to the rescue. Ah, oh, I can see what I'm doing now. That's always a bonus, isn't it? Yeah, there is exposed copper wire, I can see it already. Get rid of that bit. So I'm not sure whether that earth wire isn't completely gone. So it's not completely gone, but nor am I super happy, because it is bent and I'm not sure that it's going to work. So in preparation for it being completely defunct, I bought some connectors, but they're not going to come till tomorrow. They are solder seal heat shrink connectors, but they actually do the soldering and the heel, oh my god, the soldering and the heat shrinking connection all in one, so you don't need to solder them together. So it looks like I am going to have to put a join in it. That is if I don't decide just to cut this bloody wire off up here, because I really don't need all that length. But I'm going to put the board up here and see how much wire I need, because I don't know what this guy was doing. Jesus, there's just so much wire, it's like really crazy. Alright, so this was the original electrics setup in the van. I don't like it. I think it's far too spaced out. It's like takes up an entire board when it can literally take up half the amount of space. So my next job is to downsize, I think is probably the word I'm looking for. Yeah, Joel's not going to cut it. I'm going to have to use the screwdriver. What I need is one of those long extension things that you get on the drill. I don't have one. I need to get one. I'll put it on my bucket list and say, darling husband, darling dearest husband, do you know how much you love me? And how much I'm working my ass off to get this van done and dusted. Pretty please with the cherry on top. Could I have some extension drill bits, thank you? Yeah, in hindsight I should have took the top screws off first. Do you know what? Menopause brain, that's what I'm blaming it on. Menopause brain. And if you're a man, just be grateful you don't have it. Okay, that's that. Okay, so that's the board on. Now I need to put together another board to put all the appliances on, at least temporarily, because obviously this board, I don't know whether to paint it. I don't know what I'll do. I probably will paint it. And as you can see, this is the, oh, got you too close. This is the busted wire. So if I put another board there, I could possibly cut above that boarded wire to attach to the fuse box. I will see, because, you know, I don't really want to put a join in it, if I'm honest. And then, but then again, I don't want tendrils of wire everywhere and looking like a spaghetti junction. So, right, let's go and find a board that I can put on here and then figure out the configuration of my bits and pieces. Okay, so I found this wee bit of board, and which would be ideal. It sits in that far right hand back corner quite neatly. So I'm thinking inverter here, if I'm going to put the battery charger in here. Maybe a little higher up. My fuse box here. My shunt here, maybe. I might need to think this through a little bit more. But this will be the general idea. My solar charge controller, which basically regulates the energy that we make coming from the solar panels. This is a solar panel emergency off switch, and then over there I might have to grab it because it's run away, is the main off switch, which I might not actually put on this board. I might put somewhere in the van, to be honest. So if anything goes wrong, faults, anything that we know suddenly smell smoke or anything like that there, I want something to be able to go and whack all the electrics off, to stop, you know, obviously fires and so on. That's the general idea. So obviously this board won't remain looking like that. I'm going to maybe put a bit of carpet on it. That board needs something doing with it, whether it be painting or carpeting. I haven't really decided yet. I took the wires out of that hole because this board fits better right up against the edge of that board, and it also means when I open the van, everything is directly there to the right hand side. Everything electrical at the moment anyway. Obviously there's going to be water pumps and so on, but I'm going to fit them in a different place. So yes, I think that's us for today. Maybe the next video I'm doing, it'll all be about the electrics. It's all getting very exciting. So thanks for watching. See you next time. If you enjoy the content, give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment and say that you're either loving the videos or you hate the sound of my voice. Either works. And always remember, you're never too old. Bye.